Good morning, everybody. Rick Thomas from Obsolete Video Services. Hey, guys. All right. Here's a repair I'm doing for a customer. This guy was extremely frustrated. He's not too far from here. He's kind of a local area person. Yeah, he's got a collection of tapes. He used to work in television. He got this deck and you name it. Anyways, the guy was extremely frustrated and pissed off. I can't even begin to tell you. He came and dropped this deck off. He saw my YouTube page. He's just like, I don't fucking get it. These things are like supposed to be easy to fix. And I'm like, no, they're not easy to fix. Anyways, he wanted me to service this deck, and like I said, guys, I do service a lot of decks. It's not cheap to service these decks, but I could sure use the work. So if you got repairs you need done on Betacam, SP, or 3/4 U-matics, please let me know. I could sure use the work right now. But anyways, he sent me this deck or brought it over, and he did this weekend warrior thinking he could fix it and all this kind of stuff. Everything was fucked up on this machine. I mean, screwed up like you wouldn't even believe. He had everything completely messed up. Then he messed with all the loading ring and all that stuff. And, he literally had this thing in almost a million pieces when he dropped it off. Anyways, I worked on it yesterday. It took me about 2 hours because I know this machine very, very well. And I had to fix the front panel. The display was broke. I did have another one. He's lucky I did. When these things get cracked, the display just goes completely off. This one here runs on a circuitry in the main systems card, so if that goes bad, you just got to have a lot of parts for these machines. But anyways, we did fix the front panel, and all the displays did come up. I did all the loading mechanism resets yesterday. And 9 times out of 10, when this machine sits for 10 or 15 years and it's not used, the mechanisms lock in place. So that's probably what the problem was. And when I took it apart to start redoing everything, I found out that a majority of everything wouldn't move. I had to go in and redo everything. And he couldn't get a large shell tape to load, or even a small shell tape to load. He didn't even know if the deck worked after all this time. So I took 2 hours yesterday. I know the routine on this machine. I get an awful lot of them. I do have 2 or 3 different customers who actually sent me these machines recently. And so I know the drill. I pretty much apply the same servicing process. Again, I do service these decks, and I could use the work. If you guys have any work out there wanting 3/4 U-matic or Betacam SP service, let me know. But on this particular one, like I said, it's not a real cheap repair, but I go through the whole machine to make sure everything's working by the time you get it. So anyways, let me just show you. This thing is now done and serviced. I think the guy's going to have a conniption, probably a stroke when he gets here when he sees it's working. He was a very pissed off gentleman. Very pissed off. I can't even begin to tell you. So anyways, it now does everything it's actually supposed to do without getting error codes. So as you can see, take a small shell. That's what it's supposed to do in the loading position. Voila, and it definitely works just fine. Alright, so as you can see, the counter and everything, audio's working. So that's what it's supposed to do on a small shell, and it's loading absolutely fine. Playback is fine. And when you hit eject, it should totally eject like that. Smooth. Boom. No error codes. Alright. Now this is a blank tape I got. But anyways, we're going to show you. This is a large shell. And if you look in there, the loading motor should shift to play this tape. Boom. Now that's what it's supposed to do. Now that's a large shell tape, and that's no problem. Fast forward, everything's working. There's nothing on this tape. It's blank, but rewind, eject, and again, no loading error codes or any error codes whatsoever. Small shell, boom, load, boom, And this tape does have some video on it. So here we go. This is a UVW-1800. These were the cheap models for Betacam SP. They have an awful lot of problems. If you got one or own one of these, or got one in storage, or looking to buy one of these, this applies to the UVW-1400, 1800. These two machines are virtually identical, but they are, you know, a cheap design, and you will have a lot of error codes if you have one in storage and you want to drag one out to do some transfers of yours or some tapes you might want to digitize. Case in point, they do need to be serviced. So hope you enjoyed this video.